The first step is mapping core processes, from intake through report delivery and closure, so workflows are visible and controlled. Intake should capture scope, independence checks, risk flags, and required resources. Planning should translate scope into a documented plan with sampling logic, method selection, and evidence handling rules. Execution should define how interviews, examinations, and technical tests proceed, including daily stand-ups, issue capture, and variance control. Reporting should set expectations for structure, severity mapping, replication steps, and cross-references to the plan of actions and milestones. Closure should codify retest conditions, evidence of fix, and final acceptance. When these process maps are explicit and linked to roles, handoffs stop depending on heroics, and managers can see bottlenecks before they erode quality or timelines. Standard operating procedures, SOPs, templates, and checklists are the QMS instruments that reduce assessor variability without dulling expertise. SOPs should explain the why and how of each step in plain language, leaving room for professional judgment while guarding against omissions. Templates standardize artifacts, plans, interview guides, evidence logs, and report sections, so reviewers know where to look and what fields must be present for traceability. Checklists anchor critical moments such as kickoff readiness, daily evidence hygiene, severity rationale checks, and release approval. The aim is uniformity where it protects quality and flexibility where judgment matters. Over time, good SOPs absorb lessons from audits and complaints, so the system learns and assessors spend less time reinventing phrasing and more time evaluating control effectiveness. Document control keeps the QMS coherent as it evolves. Every controlled document, policies, SOPs, forms, and templates needs an owner, an approval record, version identifiers, effective dates, and a distribution list. Old versions must be withdrawn from circulation but archived with rationale for change, ensuring historical traceability. Access should balance availability with protection. Assessors need the latest forms at their fingertips, while only designated custodians can edit the corpus. Release notes should state what changed and why, ideally tied to audit findings, corrective actions, or risk assessments. When auditors ask why a template field exists or a phrase changed, document control provides the answer in seconds, not days. That speed under pressure is a hallmark of mature quality practices. Training turns documents into practice. A competency model should define the skills and authorizations required for each role: lead assessor, technical specialist, report reviewer, and manager. Track each person's qualifications, witnessed assessments, method-specific training, and recertification dates. Pair new staff with mentors and record mentorship plans that include shadowing, observed interviews, and supervised evidence reviews. Authorize personnel formally for specific activities, such as leading fieldwork or issuing final reports, once their competence is demonstrated, and revoke authorizations when recertification lapses. Training is not a slide deck. It is a pathway from theory to observed competence proven with records. When clients ask why your conclusions are trustworthy, your training file answers before a word is spoken. Managing nonconformities requires discipline that matches the seriousness of the risk. A nonconformity is any departure from procedure, requirement, or expected outcome that could affect result integrity. Record each event with context, root cause analysis, immediate correction, and planned corrective actions. Assign a single owner and a due date, then verify effectiveness after changes land. Root cause should look beyond actor error to system design, ambiguous templates, unclear handoffs, or overloaded stages that predictably fail. The evidence of this work belongs in the quality file, not scattered across email. Over time, a nonconformity log becomes a treasure map of where your system was weak and how you strengthened it, which is precisely what sponsors and accreditors want to see. Preventive actions complement corrective actions by addressing recurring risks before they cause failures. Use risk registers to capture threats to impartiality, schedule reliability, evidence security, and report quality. For each risk, record likelihood, impact, existing controls, and planned preventive measures, such as peer reviews at mid-engagement, early independence checks with escalation paths, or automated field validation in evidence logs. Preventive actions should be time-bound and measurable, with verification that the risk actually moved. This proactive posture changes the tone of oversight conversations from reactive firefighting to evidence of foresight. Organizations that invest consistently in prevention spend less time apologizing and more time delivering. Measurement gives the QMS a pulse. Track timeliness against plan, defect rates in reports, client satisfaction signals, and the volume of rework caused by unclear findings or inconsistent severity mapping. Use leading indicators where possible. On-time stage exits, peer review pass rates, and evidence completeness scores predict end-of-project quality better than a final scramble. Break metrics down by team and method to spot coaching opportunities and resourcing gaps. Publish a small dashboard internally and discuss it in management reviews, linking trends to actions. Numbers should guide, not punish. They are the feedback that turns a good quarter into a good year through steady, visible improvement. Calibration keeps methods, tools, and sampling approaches aligned with intent. Schedule periodic calibration sessions where assessors independently rate the same evidence set, then reconcile differences against the decision rules until consensus emerges. For tools, control versions, profiles, and signatures, and maintain test data sets that expose regression when an update changes behavior. For sampling, review rationales and outcomes across engagements to ensure representativeness, replaceability rules, and sample sizes are applied consistently to similar populations. Calibration turns experienced opinion into repeatable practice and prevents the quiet drift that makes yesterday's pass criteria diverge from today's under the same conditions. Internal audits are the QMS mirror. At planned intervals, sample engagements end-to-end, independence checks, plan approvals, evidence trails, severity rationales, and report releases. Document findings with objective evidence, rate significance, and open corrective or preventative actions that trace to closure. Close the loop by verifying effectiveness and recording what changed in procedures or training. Audits should be independent of project managers and executed by trained auditors who understand both quality and assessment craft. When auditors find little, it should be because controls work, not because the sample avoided uncomfortable corners. Honest audits protect credibility and keep the system improving even when teams feel busy and successful. Suppliers extend your quality boundary, so review their qualifications deliberately. Subcontractors, external laboratories, and specialized testers must meet your independence, competence, and security criteria, evidenced by attestations, training files, and method calibration artifacts. Perform due diligence before engagement. Define acceptance criteria for their deliverables and monitor performance with the same metrics you apply internally. Record nonconformities and corrective actions when supplier work falls short, and be ready to rotate partners when trends persist. A 3PAO that manages suppliers with rigor signals to agencies that the assurance chain remains intact even when work is distributed. Risk management and change control belong inside the QMS, not adjacent to it. When a process change is proposed, new template fields, revised sampling guidance, or altered severity rubric, assess the risk, test in a pilot, train staff, and record the effective date with a rollback plan if outcomes degrade. Link process changes to the risks they mitigate or the audit findings they resolve. This discipline prevents whiplash in the field and preserves comparability across time. It also provides a clean story to accreditors. We saw this risk, we tested this fix, we trained people, and here is evidence that performance improved. A quick mini-review keeps teams aligned under time pressure. Processes mapped, documents controlled, training tracked, corrective and preventive actions active, metrics visible, audits working. If any element feels soft, pause expansion and strengthen the base before the next engagement starts. The QMS is not a compliance ornament, it is the structure that protects clients, assessors, and the accreditation you rely on. When the mini-review becomes habit, quality becomes predictable. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.